guys, Natasha Tessier here in my new space. We moved and we have tight quarters. We're all in this little guest house in the back of our house that we're building because it wasn't finished. So I don't even have my camera to set this up, so I'm sorry, I'm holding it and it's not quite as good as it normally is. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about where should you move in the state of Texas. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. Welcome to my channel. If you're thinking of moving to Texas, please hit the subscribe button. This is anything and everything to do with moving to Texas, moving to Houston. Today I want to talk about the whole state in general because a lot of people don't know where to move or what to do. We have agents all over the state. So I personally know several great agents in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, New Braunfels, all the little small towns. So if you're looking for somebody that is going to be honest with you and kind of hold your hand and walk you through the process, reach out. I'd love to give you one of those agents, even if you're not moving to Houston. So obviously we have major metropolitan areas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin are kind of the big ones. And then there's a ton of suburbs and really cool small towns and hill country and all that. So first I want to talk about politics, if that's important to you. Some people it is, some people it doesn't matter, but all the big cities are mostly blue. You know, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, they all go blue. It's the suburbs that are red. I live in Montgomery County. It's one of the most conservative suburbs or counties in the state. So kind of depending on if that's important to you or not, then that might be where you direct to go. If that's not important to you, then no big deal. The second thing I think that is important is the topography. So Houston is full of trees, and especially Northwest Houston out by the Woodlands where I'm in Montgomery. It's tall trees, gorgeous trees, but not hills. Montgomery is a little hilly, but not like the hill country hilly. So Dallas is pretty flat. There are no trees. It's more city life. And then Houston has a ton of trees, a little bit of hills as you go further out. San Antonio has a ton of hills. It's the hill country. San Antonio north out towards Bernie and all the way, you know, north of there. You can keep going to Fredericksburg, beautiful, fun, quaint town, good bed and breakfast, all that good stuff. But they do have trees, but they're live oaks. They're not tall trees. They're kind of windy trees. They're beautiful, but they do have hills. So if you're wanting more terrain, you might want to go out that way. And then of course we have to bring up weather. So all of Texas is hot in the summer. I don't care. There's some agents that say, oh, Dallas is, you know, so much better. It's all hot. Houston is definitely more humid, but we get more rain. So I think it's personal preference. One of my boys loves the rain and feels like it's a little bit cooler, even though it's muggier in Houston, because when we lived in San Antonio for 10 years, we might have 90 days of over 100 degrees dry kind of desert heat. So to me, it doesn't matter where you go. You might get a snow or two in Dallas or north of there, maybe not. So, and then also with the weather, I know Houston gets a bad rap with flooding. I've never sold a flooded house. Most of our houses don't flood. And I always say, you know, if it didn't flood during Harvey, it's going to be hard pressed to flood, but could it? Yes, but it's just more hard pressed. So what else can I tell you? Oh, and then, you know, there's tornadoes. Tornado Alley is up north towards Dallas. So if that scares you, you know, I don't know. I've never seen any, like, I mean, obviously Harvey was really bad and a lot of people lost their homes. Even my parents lost their home after 45 years. But again, all the houses I'm selling are not flooded. So that has to be disclosed to you. If it flooded once, it's a good chance it's going to flood again, unless something was done to prevent that. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we talked topography, weather, schools. Texas is one of the biggest homeschooling states. So if you're going that route, I think you'll have a ton of support no matter where you go. If you want to go to public schools, there are plenty of A-rated public schools, especially in the suburbs. The Woodlands has amazing rated schools, Montgomery, certain parts of Fort Worth, all over San Antonio. There's plenty of good schools. So if that's a concern to you and you want to start going going public, that's easy way to fix that. And then the next thing I would say is your lifestyle. So as you move out, let's just say you're moving out to like Montgomery versus the city of Houston. Everything is newer out here because the city's growing out. So you need to kind of decide what kind of life, but there's more construction because there's more growth. So if you want to live in an area that's established and that's all that there's going to be, you'll probably find older homes. The Woodlands has a lot of older homes. When I say older, you know, early 2000s-ish. Not a ton of new construction left in the Woodlands, but as you go out, you can find new construction, but you know, like your Starbucks is new, your, you know, Chick-fil-A's, everything's kind of brand new versus older. So totally personal preference, but decide, do you want to live in a brand new area or do you want to live in a more established area? Do you want to live in a brand new home, new construction? I can definitely help you with new construction. I did a new construction video. There's a lot to be aware of right now, but so go check that one out. But you know, do you want new construction or do you want a house that's 30 years old that, you know, is a little more charming? Or do you want land or no land? All that good stuff. So all those things are things to think about as you move across the state. Austin is really, really pretty, tons of lakes. It's extremely liberal, but it's absolutely beautiful. And you know, there's a lot of opportunity. I feel like the economy here is still booming as people come in. I mean, there's still a lot of jobs. As we have such big growth, there's obviously going to be more need for businesses and different things. So if you're wanting to, I have several clients that moved here and started up small businesses and they're doing amazing. So if that's something you want to do, we can chat about that. If you are thinking of moving to Texas, please fill out my form below and let's get on a Zoom call and kind of get to know each other. Even if it's not, like I said, in Houston, maybe you're wanting to go to, you know, Fort Worth, or maybe you want to go to Bernie outside of San Antonio. Let's chat about different areas and let me help you kind of narrow that down. And then from there, we can, you know, figure out if it's me that would be the best fit for you, or maybe it's another agent in another city. I would love to help you. So anyway, I just thought that it would be good to kind of go over the different suburbs. Oh, I also was going to mention median home prices. Austin tends to be the most expensive of the bigger cities. As you go out into the suburbs, you know, the prices obviously go down. So, you know, Magnolia, Montgomery, outside of Fort Worth, outside of San Antonio, as you go, you know, further north and further out, then that's when you can really get a nice neighborhood, good schools, and, you know, more affordable. So generally speaking, obviously, the further you go out into the suburb, the better. And then also in those suburbs, like out here in Montgomery, we have, you know, little things like farmers market, and we have the Montgomery Parade and the Montgomery Wine Festival, kind of small town charm. So, but we don't have a lot of, you know, 5-star dining down the road. So just different ways of living life. So anyway, if I can help you with that, please reach out anytime. You can call me, text me, message me, or just fill out the form. That's kind of the best way to get in our system. And then we can set up a Zoom and go from there. And I hope you guys have a blessed week.